these teachers are stepping right outside their comfort zone. They're stepping into an area or a way of teaching that is never what we were taught at university. So it's brave.
This is probably my first official experience in being involved in teaching problem-based learning.
When we heard about our question, we were very nervous around it because we didn't know anything about the 3 topics that were part of the question.
It's like walking around blinded sort of thing. We don't know where each lesson will head.
Like it wasn't a lesson I could plan for. I kind of had to just go with where the students took me, which is, as a teacher, really, we're not used to that.
Is it easy? No, it can be very frustrating for both the students and teachers at times. I suppose that's a reason why it's worth giving it a go, because I suppose anything that's easy isn't usually worth doing.
The type of learning which we were doing was problem-based learning. It's a lot more challenging for the kids in a fun way.
I went up to the teacher and said, well, I don't really know what to do. She'll be like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. And then you have to figure it out for yourself. I was like, I was a bit frustrated, but as I learned how to do it myself, I was like, oh yeah, this is fun, this is better than the teacher helping me. And so that's sort of setting you up for when you're older. You won't really have a teacher there to help you, so STEM's like setting you up for future life.
Oh yeah, something that I really liked was learning in a different way and coming to solutions with my group and myself. Because then I feel like I've accomplished something. Then I've actually thought of it and it makes me really proud.
As a teacher, it's nerve-wracking, but you can see the benefits. There's the student voice and they're feeling the empowerment of telling the teacher how they want to run the lesson. Yeah, that hooks them in as well.
What we've seen is that students are not only engaged during the problem-based learning lessons, but they're also engaged in the other curriculum area lessons that you're teaching them separately, because they can see the relevance to their problem-based learning. They make the connections across the curriculum.
What's important is that problem-based learning doesn't replace explicit teaching. If we just turned everything over to the students and had it free for all, then they're not going to learn anything, and I'm not going to know how to assess that. I still have a clear curriculum, and explicit teaching is a really big part of that. I love teaching PBL. I love the freedom. I love being impressed by my students and them so excited about what they're learning, but it doesn't replace explicit teaching. It enhances and gives meaning to what you teach. I love this idea. You're so right.
You're not teaching them content just for the sake of teaching content. You're actually teaching them skills that they will need in order to be able to solve the problem.
To get it in proportion and the right size,
we have to find out a perfect height so they can actually climb up, because it will be rainy, and if we make something slippery.
When you've got kids who really want to learn something, who want to understand something deeply so that they can solve a problem, they learn. And that's what you're there for. So I think it's as simple as that.
Materials that you plant to the spot to be able to build the road, and then how's the road going to look so that
we do problem-based learning by having an industry partner come in, present a problem to the students, which needs to be solved.
Yeah.
They then research to find solutions, to build that understanding of what that bigger question is, and then they present a solution back to the industry partner.
That would be the road.
You've got to find someone that can make it for you, you've got to bring it to site.
Working with someone in the industry gives them a sense of empowerment. All of a sudden it comes from being a classroom thing to being an industry thing, and it makes them feel extremely important. And when kids feel good, they deliver.
Because it's a real problem, we're trying to find a real answer to it, and I think that's a bit more motivating and kind of drives you to do it like in a higher quality.
outcome or something to make it worth it, so then that way you have some reason to learn something. If there's no reason to learn it, then why are you learning it?
I'm in my office in the morning and I've got kids lining up to tell me what they found out about phytoplankton on the weekend. And when you get to upper primary, seldom do students go home and talk about what did you learn today. But parents are saying to me, my kid cannot stop talking about PBL, cannot stop talking about STEM. They are so excited about what you're doing in your class.
As a subjective view, the engagement levels of my students within the STEM PBL program, it has been tenfold.
Even though they're doing different levels, what one child might be doing at what might be seen as a lower level is needed by a group that's working at a higher level to actually solve their problem. So even though the learning's different, it's actually quite important to what the whole group's focusing on. So these kids do see that their contribution in class is valued. We've got a couple of kids that do have quite challenging behaviour, and I come in there now, and if one of them's off for the day, you'll see the other one telling him, sit down, be quiet, I need to do this. And when they're taking responsibility of managing each other in the class, like, that's pretty powerful.
We got practice of speaking in front of people. Everyone was pretty much nervous except for one person. Like maybe when I grow up and all that, I might be at high school and I might have to talk to 1,000 people. In primary school I can remember that, I've learned how to do this. I know that I can become someone who likes to talk. So I feel like having that opportunity in primary school where it might build you up for your whole life with all those challenges that you might be given.
What does the industry partner get out of this? Well, I think that's really interesting, because at first I felt that it was all about the school and all about the students. The response from the industry partner has been so reaffirming. They get a lot out of this. They are so pleased to contribute to the education of young people.
Every single employee, we've got about 8,000 employees, get given half a day off per year, fully paid, to go and do some voluntary work. So it's just part of the company and the culture, and it's the people within the company enjoy doing that sort of thing.
These kids are going to go through school, they'll go through university, and then hopefully one day they come out and they say, I remember Fulton Hogan come presenting to us, and we're always looking for engineers and that type of people, technicians, to come and be part of our business.
When companies tender on a project, if they've got some sort of community involvement as part of their tender package, a company will look more favourably on hiring them to do the work because they are giving back to the community.
We had a rooftop garden and we had a tree on the garden.
When you listen to the students talking about it, there's a real difference in their minds between a problem that a teacher has come up with, one that comes out of a textbook or one the teacher's made up, and with an industry partner coming in and saying, this is my problem, can you help me? It's that connection. It's a human connection. You're helping somebody through a problem, but it's also that they know that this is the real world. This is the world they're going out into when they leave school, and it's real.
With any engaging learning, you're going to get less behavioural issues. If a kid is keen to learn and is really concentrating on what they're learning, then they're not going to mess around.
The children who aren't usually as engaged are really quite engaged in class. It doesn't seem to catch their eye. You see the other side of their thinking because they're actually challenged in a different way.
Hello, my name is Jackson and this is the Teal Flat Play Solution.
Teachers who let students know that they really expect greatness of them will have students who show greatness.
Area around where the turtle is.
When they realise that, yes, I can do that, they come to the party basically, and their whole attitude is completely different.
I like how you thought about the species as well. That was really clever.
It's hands-on. It's not sitting around. It's really working in there, getting hands-on, doing things, and creating things as well.
If we didn't want to make a model, say we were into doing PowerPoints, we could do a PowerPoint. Or if we were into designing something else, we could design that. But with other topics, they tell you how you need to present it, and then but instead it's just fun doing it yourself, and you do it how you'd like to do it.
If you find a point that you're passionate about, then you can follow that. For example, the students who were working on protein sources, there was one student who was a vegetarian, and she realised that chickpeas are a really good source of protein. So that became something that she was really connecting with because it was relevant to her life, it was an interest, and she became so passionate about it that she's now looking at doing a startup company to promote the use of chickpeas in food as a protein source.
You know it's worthwhile when they are dreading presenting first of all, and then by their final presentation they're actually looking forward to it.
Everything that we've been talking about, everything that we were hoping that they were learning and processing, we saw it all come together today.
I was just incredibly impressed with being able to take these problems and do a lot of comprehensive research and come up with a lot of different solutions, some of which I haven't even thought about.
The student who came up with the idea responded straight away and said, well, we could stick magnets to the bioluminescent tubes on the inside and then get a magnet with the opposite pole on the outside of the tube and just click them together. And I think the two of us just sort of looked at each other with our jaws hitting the table because we didn't expect it. We just thought we'd give a bit of feedback and he'd have to go away and think about it. He fixed it on the spot. That was just fantastic to see. Really, really good outcome, yeah.
So easy to give up in those first initial stages, but if you just keep going, the success and the engagement that you see from the students overrides all those little humps in the beginning.
What possible rules could we make?
You'll see the success not only in yourself in the way that you've learned and the way that you have taught, but you'll see the student success. And I think at the end of the day, when you see how much the students have involved themselves and what they have learned in themselves, that is what you want to see, and that is the success and what you want as a teacher at the end of it.